and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just say, "You're on your live." There's no countdown. It's like, okay, I'm ready. Welcome to the Daily Tonic. No, there's no alcohol. Good morning. Good morning. Good Saturday morning. My name is Celeste, aka Joanna. Any documents that are couriered to me has to be made out in my old name, Joanna. Just because I still have to legally change everything. So far, the system still has me down as legally as Joanna L. Ross, but I'm not that vibration anymore. But all of the governments and the banks and things have me as Joanna L. Ross. So if you send anything to me through the bank, it has to be made out to Joanna L. Ross. Or the attention of, right? So, and then when I get the monies and I get into an established place so that I'm safe off the streets, I'll get everything changed to my name that I choose, that I'm the vibration of, because I get to choose my life, right? We're going to talk about ascension today. Everything is ascension. I wonder where my old brain picture is. The brain itch. All my teams and guides and Archangel Michael and all of the Celestials and my beautiful, beautiful Celestials. I love you so much. Thank you to my teams and my guides and the Celestials looking after me and correcting my body and all of my systems from all the disrepair that has happened. I'm so grateful. Thank you to the Holy Creator. They're saying that this is a time of great return. I'm still not understanding, Spirit, why the videos went from like 2,000 views a day down to a couple 125. So it's like on any given day, there's no rhyme or reason for videos being like, I mean, I'm not being monetized for it anyways, because when I get into, anyways, when all of this money thing is sorted out, because I can't do anything without the money, obviously, I need to get my YouTube completely changed and monetize it, get all of the finances sorted out so that they can go to the appropriate places, nonprofit, and so on, and get everything organized the way it's meant to be organized. I don't like being this disheveled and disorganized, so it's been a process for me personally to go through what I've been through and to every day wake up and have to reorganize myself around such restrictions and such limitations that I personally didn't have anything, um, didn't personally go out there saying, yeah, let's go be homeless for a while. Let's put myself through some more challenges. And I mean, these were things that were systematically done on a grand and gross scale. So that's still part of the unfairness that I'm working through, that I really have to bite my tongue and not get myself out of vibrational alignment. That is so easy to do when it's been such a huge injustice that hasn't been made right thus far. The people in Calgary and the people that have been involved, as timelines are moving farther and farther apart, understanding that the old karmic people are now moving into new karmic roles because the timelines are shifting, different dimensions, different universes that we're all playing within. Some of us are, and some of the Divine Father's plan will include those people that have been karmic partners with us forever, and some of them have been given chances to come along for the ride, as long as they are taking into account that they're also responsible to assist others in this ride. They know that if they've been inspired to assist someone and they've been inspired to help someone, if they've been inspired to, you know, bring justice where justice is due, and you're inspired to do these things and you're inspired to give and donate, this is part of your karmic repayment. So if you're going to choose not to do it, if spirit and your teams are guiding you towards, because spirit has shown me they have, um, we'll go back a second. part of me learning in this whole experience is that because I've been such an independent person, because I have had to play, healer, counselor, vibrational healer to such toxic experiences from the time I was born. Yeah, obviously, I've been giving stories about in utero, healing families in utero, and all of these beings and all of the species and all of the people that I play with are all very appreciative. I get that. Everybody's appreciative in spirit. But what spirit and my teams and I are working through the energy alchemically, because I've been so independent, because I've had many businesses, I've started up on my own just so that I could maintain, being with my kids as much as possible. Um, Going and playing, having as many jobs as I could in my younger years, plus going to school. I've always been a very conscientious, very hard worker. That's just it's just how I've been as a person. So before I was a healer and knew I was a healer and knew I was a light worker and wanted to write books and wanted to do all of these beautiful things that I have, legions of things behind me that I want to start creating and start to move on. And of course, none of it can be done without the resources behind it. None of it. None of it can be done without resources. And they've all known this. So my life has literally been on hold creatively for over 10 years. Over 10 years, everything about me has been put on the back burner. Personally and spiritually, it's been on the back burner since I was born. This life has been a life of absolute and utter 100% service to everybody else. And that's fine. That's the healer, that's the job, and that's this. I surrender that to Source Creator. I've learned, I've been, as surrendering as possible. There is that part that going through the healing process, you have to reclaim who you are. You have to reclaim all of the aspects that are in your chakras. So this is part of the dark divine feminine energies that the collective is going through right now, and coming back into harmonizing and accepting the dark feminine energies into our collective experience. It's necessary that we understand what the dark divine feminine is. The dark divine feminine is about reclaiming and asking for what you're due, is about reclaiming and giving rage to all of the divine feminine abuses that have been. The dark divine feminine is honoring the ideals that you must set boundaries, that you must state with intention who you are, and what you exist within, with quite profound honoring and understanding, so that we're setting forward new establishments of learning, new establishments of care, new establishments of how to run a beautiful home, because that's what this planet is to those of us that are divine feminine light workers and leaders in light work. Because for the Divine Father's plan, we've come here with the embedding in our consciousness, with the embedding within our DNA. It's come with the embedding in our DNA that our planet is our home, and we take that very seriously. When we go for walks, we care about the land. We go for walks, we pick up the garbage as we go, and we move little animals. That is our caretaking of the planet. And others that are not as consciously awake, others that are not as tuned in, others that don't care about life, others that are just not connected in any way, they would see these things as strange and curious and weird, and that doesn't matter. This is how I've always been as a person. It's always been the caretaking of a home. Gently put the bugs outside, and you look after the home, and you clear the space, and you cleanse the space, and you prepare the space. You put love and care and honor into it, and you make sure that the energy in the space, if your children are not well, you send energy to your children, you check in with them, you see how you can help them. All of these things are the things that a divine feminine does. In this process of looking at my life, just coming past my birthday, if that's the case, if it is my birthday, because there's still a lifetime filled with lies and fabrications that other people have done behind the scenes, the Illuminati and the Eastern Stars and the shadow governments, and all the people that thought they were handling me. That I don't even know. I've never met these people, but apparently they're handling me and passing me from coven to coven and group to group so that they can be sold to, so that I can be investigated and researched and studied and poked at and prodded at and set up and set up to fail and set up to be tested and set up to be to test my patience as long as it can go, to set up to see how much I can put up with. All the different setups and all the different BS that's been done in this whole Truman Show, um, deplorable experience. In all of these things that's been supposedly my life, it's been just a game to everybody. And that's how I feel. I feel the dark divine feminine has felt as if there's been no respect for who she is. There's been no respect for what she's brought to the table. There's been no respect for the 17 years that I've been putting all of my life into my work. Written 3 books. I've got another 3 or 4 books on the back burner. I've got plays. I've got movies. I've got so much that I am a creative genius and I haven't even tapped into a speck of it because I just simply have not had I haven't had the resources or the emotional, spiritual availability to sit down and process most of what needs to be processed in the unfairness of what's happened. And that's munching through all of the alchemy. And I have to do it. Divine Feminine, as a leader of the Divine Feminine Collective, as a leader of this Ascension Collective, I don't have any choice but to process what's been thrown at me and impaled on me. And that I know I've got, legions behind me that are assisting me. I've got angels around me that are assisting me alchemize because it is a lot that I've taken on. I'm telling spirit that as being homeless and eating dollar noodles every day because there is no money, and for me to process and for me to do and for me to be all of these things that I've been asked to do, I think it's absolutely highly the most unreasonable expectation for people to have those expectations of me. I think it was highly unreasonable and deplorable for people to put me through what they've put me through for their private agendas, for their money making background, for their money-making schemes on all levels, from the black web level, from the trafficking level, from the RICO level, from the Eastern Star, so-called family level, from the community level. I mean, you go on all the things that people have used me. The industry, the elites, the movie stars, the singers, it doesn't matter. 300 people have been making their livelihood. 300 people have been using me on every level. 300 people using me on every level that they can. 300 people, some of them, whoever they are, pleasuring themselves to me and using my energy and using how I look and how I appear that I find beautiful. It's for me. How I look is for me. It's not for anybody else. It's for me because I like to look good. I like to do makeup and I like to do my hair. I love looking at my hair. It's for me. I do this for me, people. But that's not seen. This is the divine feminine that's coming forward that must be presented, that the collective must need to see, the collective must need to accept, and the collective must need to bear witness, and the collective must need to adjust. Because I'm not adjusting anymore. I refuse to adjust any further for the low vibrational mentality, corruption, conformity that has been out there. And divine feminine has had to modify and adjust herself and adapt herself around crap. Divine feminine would have never brought children into this world if that's what's being done to the children. There's no way. I didn't even know about trafficking when I had kids. Didn't even know, didn't even hear about it. It was just so far beyond I just thought there was no way I thought that I would be involved in anything like this. And little did I know my entire life was nothing but being trafficked back and forth because there was people behind the scenes. There was people before I even got here knew who I was, and they were going to make my life as hellish as possible. And these people don't even know me. Never met me, but apparently they're my family, and apparently their deeds and their goal, and they're still trying right now. They're still trying. They're still softening right now. Spirit says even the worst of the people are softening right now, and they want to come and they want to make it right, and they want to be friends with me. They want to see if we can start off fresh again. We're not starting off fresh in any way. We're not starting off fresh in any way. There's nothing to start fresh with. There will never be a fresh start for those people that have called me family, and all you've done is abuse me with black magic and selling me and wanting to infect me, intention to infect, and putting hits on me in the black web. There's no way. You put my name on a piece of paper and you sell it to the black web to see how many people can come and what is the going rate now? 150,000. What's the going rate to come and take me out? Just because I'm bringing out your crimes and your pedophilia, I'm bringing out your incest, I'm calling out your fake church, I'm calling out whatever it is truth, because that's what I am. I'm the mirror of truth. These are my roles. These are my deliverances that I've earned as a soul, and I'm meant to because that's who I am, to shake up everybody, to wake them up, and get them working on their pathwork. This is my role. This is the divine feminine role in her shadow energy, and I'm taking advantage of it because I get to. Because look what we've had to accommodate. We've had to accommodate 98% of the systems are being corrupt and led by men that are corrupt and wounded, and they don't care. Spirit said only seven out of the world leaders actually care about the land and the people they're actually leading. The rest of them run corrupt businesses for their own ego stroking. That's what it is. It's just an ego stroking business. And the politicians are absolutely proving it. Democrats, Republic, da di da di da di da. And what do? They sit in their little houses, and we call them political houses, and they argue about what's got what and who's got who. There's nothing going on for the people or the land. They're not working as a family of one. They're not working as a business of one. No, they're working as party to party, fighting to fighting, fighting to fighting, and nothing gets done because there's so much bureaucracy and everybody's trying to figure out what goes to where. So much time and money is wasted in the way that North America has politics, how they're running politics. It's absolutely a waste of time. The political arena is a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of the people's efforts. It's a waste of energy. You don't work as a family of one. You don't work as a house of one. Wounded, 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 wounded. The higher order should be the heavenly order that comes down the heavens. That's all in everybody's blueprint is your heavenly blueprint with the heavens. The heavens is our highest evolutionary state. From the 13th dimension, we receive information and codes coming down to us. The heavens is always our highest state of highest intelligence, of highest wisdoms, of highest guidance. That is the highest level of who we will ever be. And we are always given equal measure. We must align with the heavens every day, our higher self, our collective, and our planet. All of these things are the sacred trinity. That's all that we should be worried about when we're going into any political argument or any political review, any political refinement, any political bill, any political law. But no, it's a money-making corrupt game where the people that have the money are the first ones to get their bids made for new bills, for new laws, and the elites are running the show. And you all know it is. The elites have their special little meetings. The top of the elites have their special little meetings, and these elites decide who goes where. The elites decide what's going where, and the elites are. Do you want me to say what I just saw, Spirit? Do you want me to say that to the collective what I just saw? Do you want me to bring my vision forward of what I just saw? All right. The divine feminine shadow energy and the divine feminine shadow goddesses, we're meant to integrate them just as our everyday life. We have to. There's no way that I would have survived. There's no way that any divine feminine will survive without the process of her entire ascension path and not integrating those divine shadow energies. We have to integrate the shadow energies because she's the one that's lost families. She's the one that's lifted her families from bloodshed. She's the one that lifted her country from bloodshed. She's the one doing the work in the mud. And she's lifted everybody with the grace of who she is, with the light of who she is, with the resistance and the resilience of who she is. She's the one that's come back time and time and time again in utter devotion and utter dedication. And she's had to heal the weak people while she's living on the street and everybody else is receiving. And this goes back to another timeline that is similar to mine is John the Beloved. That was one of my timelines. And it was exactly like this timeline. Nothing but poverty, nothing but healing the sick, nothing but being in absolute and utter poverty, being at the lowest vibration of collective. And all I did was heal that lifetime. All I did was a healer. All I did was live on the streets. And I'm tired of it. And Spirit knows I'm tired of it. This timeline was supposed to be different. This timeline at the age of 20, I was supposed to be living my highest life. But it wasn't that way because everybody else and their dog had their group plans, had their government plans, had their corrupt plans because they're living a corrupt life and they're living their debaucherous life and they're living their egoic life. And you had to have your egos broken so many times for you to even take one step back and say, maybe this earth angel has something to say. Maybe she might be talking about something. Okay, well, then 7 years, you go into entropy. I don't care. I'm going to ascend. It doesn't matter to me. The egos are so thick on this planet, they actually have to be shaken and thrown against the wall before they actually look at what they're doing and face. Entropy could be as close as 7 years. I mean, hello. And you're just keep going with your big agendas to keep doing what you do. Just keep going with your big money making agendas. It's ego. Ego. It I'm a lowly old woman. I'm a lowly old woman on the street. I'm a lowly old woman. I'm supposed to be a porn addict. I'm supposed to be a drug addict. I'm supposed to be all of these things. I've had to fight for my rights to pull myself out of every lie, out of every hex, out of every glamour spell, out of every humiliation ritual. I've had to fight my way out of this. These are energies thrown at me I have to fight my way out of. I'm none of these things. I'm a healer, I'm a teacher, I'm a devoted to God. But I've had to climb my way out of this has been 7 years just of the curses and hexes, 7 years of just of homelessness, 7 years of just of unbelievable poverty, unbelievable daily group activity to take me out and take me down and throw me to the mud. For this is for everything staying the same and corruption staying the same, the trafficking rings to stay the same, and the same elite leaders to stay in place. That's the war. That's the war right now. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to ascend. The dark divine feminine must be heard. The dark divine feminine must be integrated. The dark divine feminine is the only thing that will heal this planet and bring the planet up. Because she's done. She's done. She's done. She is the healthy waters. She is the healthy forest. She is the healthy children. She's the one that's coming to the children's aid when they're being brought up from trafficking. And nobody on this planet knows how to heal these children when they're coming up from trafficking. Nobody knows anything about what I've been teaching over the last 8 years about the trauma to a multidimensional experience. When these children are already high vibrational, these children are already star seeds, and nobody's even tapping into how to even heal these children. Has anybody been taking any of my precautions? You can't move these children from homes to homes. These children's futures and destinies and whatever's left of their dreams are hanging by a thread. Anybody care? Does anybody care that I was hanging by a thread for 8 years? Anybody care? Anybody? And this is what God says. When God's placing these questions before you through me. Are you going to choose God or are you going to choose religion? Because when you choose religion, you've all chosen your boxes that you want to sit in and fight against the boxes and fight against the borders and fight against the boundaries and who's righteous and who's not righteous and who's the one that's aligned and who's the one that's not aligned. You're all fighting. So you got to choose. God's going to see you at the gate and God's going to say, you've been fighting all this time. You're wasting so much time and energy, just like the politicians. Now what? You can't go through the gates. You haven't earned it. You're nowhere near the consciousness to get through those gates. You have no idea about consciousness. You're not working on the energy. You haven't cleared any of your density. You haven't cleared any of the traumas. You haven't been working on your multidimensional systems. You don't know about any of it because everybody's just so focused on the dark occult mess. And the men are running around chasing money, thinking about their new money making agendas, putting more stuff in the air around the planet. And what does dark divine feminine do? Okay, well, we're not going to fight this war again. We're not going to come back and pick up our kids from bloodshed anymore. We're not doing it. We're out. The kids and the women are out. And what's left? A planet of men. That's just what they wanted. They wanted to run it all. They wanted the men to have everything to run it all. And the men are doing whatever they're doing. I don't know what do you want me to say? We've gone around the circle a million times, people. Go back to my videos every day. Go back and look at the videos. We're the same message. We're going around circles. So my alchemy is what did you want me to say, Commander Ashtar? What did you want me to say, Commander Ashtar? I don't want to say that. And that makes me really uncomfortable. Part of my healing, part of my healing, all verklempt. I just think it's unfair. They're telling me I'm going to see how it's going to work out. I'm just saying it's unfair. Nobody knows the depth nobody knows the depth of a divine sacred woman. Nobody on this planet knows what divine sacred feminine is all about. Thank you for your donation. There's a difference between the divine feminine that is in the 3D superficial socio entertainment world and the divine feminines that move the planet, that survive the planet, that walk 10 miles to get water for their kids and family while they're carrying their babies and their food in satchels, and they're walking with nothing but bare feet and old leather thongs. These are the sacred women of the planet. That's why I do sacred travels, so I can understand sacred divine feminine, so I can understand the sacred portals of the earth. That's what real lightworkers do. That's what real alchemists do. That's what real masters do. We pay attention to the heartbeat of all life. But people have been in such a grappling state of no sense of self. They have to get it from everything outside of themselves. And it's been such a harvesting, trafficking, vibrational raping. And that's how it feels to be a divine feminine. It's like there's at any moment you can be harvested and raped and traded and trafficked. And you don't even know you are. There are discussions behind closed doors that you will never be a part of. Some of the starseeds in divine feminine. And if you've been slotted as a divine in the divine father's plan to be anything, to be a righteous leader, to be, and when I say righteous, we're talking divine heavenly righteous. We're not talking about what's talked about on earth, because nobody on this planet knows what righteous really is. Very few of them, because the people that are righteous never talk about being righteous. They never do. Never do. It's the ones that are running fake churches. It's the ones that are running trafficking rings in fake churches. It's the ones that are elites running their nonprofit organizations while they're raping children on boats and yachts and putting them in underground tunnels. Nothing will be hidden. But I'm here to talk about divine sacred energy. I'm here to talk about divine feminine, sacred shadow energy. When she has been beat down so much so that she gets up and she transforms an entire planet and a galaxy by the energy that she's able to transmute. That's alchemy. That's divine sacred feminine. And if you don't give her any respect and you do not bow to her and you do not understand anything about divine feminine and you don't give her 1 ounce of credit in anything that you do throughout your day, then you're not ready to ascend and you will never get to 5D. I'm just saying that. Every divine feminine on this planet has been abused, overlooked, underrated, underpaid, stepped on, stomped on, sold, whistled at. If you want to wear something nice and you want to wear something that, shows a bit of shoulder, you walk by a little area of men working on houses and men working in their cars. Yeah, you're going to be whistled at and scooched at. Have people looking at your boobs most of the time. No, I wear what I wear for me. I like to look nice. I wear it for me. I look nice for me. But that's the level of consciousness that's out in the collective, and it has to mature. And this is what divine feminine are choosing from. Immature, egocentric, egomaniac, sadistic, masochistic, narcissistic, masonistic, Eastern Staristic, dark occultistic, sacrificing, trafficking, RICO businessmen that have absolutely zero knowledge of divine feminine, zero knowledge of grace and honor and respect for her. Zero about just treating her with respect and actually giving one-on-one to her, about giving connection with her heart. What does her heart say? What does her heart want? No, it's about the ego, feed my ego, stroke my ego, stroke my ego. Okay, now that you've had all your ego games, and now that the planet's going in a direction that we need to correct it from, now what? It's not about your ego. Now what? If you can just set your ego aside for a second, just 1 second. Put your ego aside for 1 second. Do you know anything about divine feminine? I wanna talk to the men on the eastern side of the world. Do you know anything about divine feminine? Any of you? Any of you? I wanna have a talk with the I wanna have an entire talk. I want the world's men. I want the world's men share these videos around the world for every single man. Every single man that you think that you're evolved, let's have a conversation and let's sit down at the table while I make your coffee and I rub your feet. Do you know anything about divine feminine? I want to talk to the most religious. I want to talk to the most hippie. I want to talk to whatever you want to call yourself. Doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter what you claim yourself. It doesn't matter what you define yourself. I want to ask you, what do you know about divine feminine? I'll guarantee you, none of you have read a book about divine feminine. True divine feminine. Show me the number, spirit. How many of these men around the world have read any books about the true divine feminine? Less than 5%. Obvious, isn't it? Why awakening has to happen? Because when you awaken, you must look at your divine feminine energies. And every man will be faced with looking at their divine feminine energies. And they will be looking at every divine feminine they have in their life and how they've treated them, how they've seen them, how they have perceived them, and what their beliefs are about them. And you cannot ascend without it. And we're just starting. This awakening is just not even started. The majority of the planet is not even awake yet. And these are big, profound questions. I've been on this path for a very long time. And I am the most integrated divine feminine that is here on this planet. And I'm going to be placed in a leadership role. And I'm coming forward in my very own rawness and genuine, authentic offering, as I always do. I must show you what ascension is like. To come forward every day. It doesn't matter if you live on the street. It doesn't matter if you carry around bags because you don't have a car because it was taken from you because of the systematic, disgusting, deplorable, systematic abuse done to you by Masons that don't know anything about anything except corruption. They don't know anything about protecting life at all costs. They don't know anything about divine feminine because if they did know anything about protecting life at all costs, they would treat their divine feminine better. They don't know anything about divine feminine and why the world looks the way it does. Spirit says there are places on this planet that don't even know what divine feminine means. Because the whole understanding and the whole belief is that feminine are not divine. So in this awakening and processing the state of experience that I'm at right now, and my teams are encouraging me and they're lifting me up every day. You know, get up. We want you to have fun. We want you to have fun. How can you go out and have fun? How can you go out and have fun, Celeste? How can you go out and have fun? Well, I don't know. Let me see. I've got 50 cents in my wallet. Um, I can go and sit in the grass and just pray and be with spirit, and I can do my singing and my toning. That's all I can do with no money and no vehicle, and everything's been ripped out from underneath me. And I probably have a great time because it's just me and Guy, and it's just me and God. That's all I've ever had is God. From when I was being molested and ignored as a child. I mean, it's the same thing, same story, except then back then I had some Barbies. I didn't have bags to carry around because I had a home to sleep in, even though it was toxic as fuck. And I was healing people left, right, and center. So the easy way for me, which a lot of men have done, is for me to take the easy way and for me to go and all of the ideas that I have are $1,000,000 ideas. I could just go and be ascended right now and they'd take me to another planet. Spirit offers that to me all the time. Where would you like to go? What do you want to do? You've done your ascension, you've done your karma. All your karma's cleared. I wouldn't be able to leave the planet knowing that I could have saved children that were not saved. I could have saved how many children? Over 600,000 children could have had my teachings. But the games have been delayed because of divine masculines games that they've been playing, and 300 involved in delaying my life, in suppressing my life and playing black magic with me every day of their life because they don't like how I look, because they don't like how I talk about God, because they don't like how I don't fit in their church. Do you see the games of religion that has happened to the people of humanity? You don't know what divine feminine is. Divine feminines would never argue about that. Divine feminine wouldn't. Divine feminine would say, there's a bunch of children in the playground. Are they playing nicely? Do they know how to do unto others and get along? Divine feminine would never do what's being done in churches. Divine feminine would never do what's being done in the political arenas. Divine feminine wouldn't. Because divine feminine know this is a house, and for a beautiful and safe, beautiful home, so the energy is working really well. I'm going to take care of the house. I'm going to take care of the energy. How do you operate within it? You're not operating as a family on any level. You're just all dog eat dog, all winner takes all. And it's all ego. Who's going to be sacrificed next? Who's going to be the one that's going to be on the next insurance policy? I mean, and that's what my life has been played. My life has been a roulette game for people I don't know, for people I would never want to know, for people that are nothing but selfish, egomaniac, wounded psychopaths, narcissistic psychopaths who did not give an ounce about me, not even 1 ounce, not even an ounce, not even the weight of a feather. These people did not care about me on any level. And all I did was heal them. All I did was give to them. All I did was show them how to heal and how to get reconnected with source as they placated to my face and stole everything out from underneath me. My car was taken. All of my stuff has been stolen 3 times because when you live on the street, there's no security system. I don't got a little buzzer. I don't got security men. I don't got a security team. I got God and I got the heavens. And they've made sure that the 700 times that people have come up to try and take me out, don't take me out. Because my ancestors are working double time to make sure that I get through to this next stage. So at least at one point in this 55-year experience, being 55 years old, at some point, I'll receive something. I don't know, maybe I'll get something from somebody besides my 2 clients that donate. And the people that donate don't have any near the money about the people that have been the ones that have been attacking me. Go figure. And they're all divine feminine. Over 71% of my listeners are divine masculine. I haven't had one donation from a divine masculine. Are they just watching me just to see are they the ones that are just watching me to study how I'm doing today? Is the black magic working? Is the warlockery working? Is the sadistic working? Is the masochistic stuff working? Is the misogynistic stuff working on me? Are all their witches that they're paying working on me? Or are they just here to get the idea so they can go around their business? How are the divine masculines really working this? You just seen 20 people sign off right now. As soon as I said that statement, 20 people signed off. The divine masculines that are stalking me, wanting to get what they get, take what they take, use what they use, and never give me an ounce of credit and never give me an ounce of anything. There are people that are running billion-dollar companies, various companies that equal into the billions. There are men that run these companies and that watch me religiously because they get valuable information on how to move and change and adjust their business. They have not given me, they haven't given me 1 ounce of thank you. They haven't given me $1. Not $1. So when you sleep in your extra king size bed tonight, that's the wallet I take to go get coffee. So I had to photocopy my ID because it was stolen. All I have is photocopied ID. That's all I have. Photocopied ID because it was stolen. And I don't have any money to go downtown and spend $500 to get new ID. You see, it's just a big cycle of being in poverty. There's no reason why I should be sitting here the way that I am today. That's what I have right now. That's what I have for coffee. That's $2.85. $2.85 with my 2 lucky pennies. and one $5 bill. I'll even unfold it so everybody can see. This is genuine, authentic ascension. And this has been this way for 7 years. I've been homeless. 7 years I've been homeless. Most days I don't even walk around with any bills. So I feel really abundant today. I feel really abundant having this $5 bill in my wallet. Because I know this $5 bill will get me 2 coffees. And everything that I manifest, there's a whole bunch of narcissists and parasites that are waiting and pocket watching me to see what goes in my account. And there's people that have hacked my phone. There's people that have hacked my email. It's anything coming in and out, they're going to take away and swipe, and they're going to swarm me and take away what they've done. Not one person has stepped up to protect me. And you think you know divine feminine. You think you know how to run a planet. You don't know anything. You're not going to run a planet without any divine feminine. You're not going to run a planet with any divine feminine that doesn't know how to heal. There's so much wisdom that can be gained and garnered through this ascension process by being as raw and genuine as what we go through in every day, and how divine feminine is absolutely spit at and abused in every way, that we are looked at and eyes rolled at us because we bring very tangible, important things forward that, if not embraced, what detriment will it hold and who will correct it? Or do you even care? That's the grander question. Do you even care, as God said? You're getting to the point of your evolution, humanity, where you're asking yourself the very blatant and sometimes crass question that you must be asked, and it came from right from the heart of God. Will you choose God over religion? The collective will hear that question, and it sounds so preposterous. These are the idealisms and beliefs that you have notioned God under. That's what I cry about. And as divine feminine is picking her babies up from these trafficking rings, the true divine feminine that heal the ground, the true divine feminine that care and tone and sing and send light to the collective, the true divine feminine that seed the gardens, the true divine feminine that have been on this path for 10 fucking years because we know the planet needs us. When Spirit said, "What do you want?" I said, I have to stay because I'm a true divine feminine. And I ain't leaving Gaia. I ain't leaving the children. And the collective has treated me like shit. And I'm going to place it back in the collective's hands. You have to own how you've treated me. All of you will see me in your dreams, and all of you will know when you get to spirit who I am. And you all have to own how you treated me. The ones that have been my listeners, the ones that have donated, you are excluded from this because you have shown me nothing but respect and honor. And I'm so honored to be next to you at the table God will prepare. And that feast will be as much for you as it is for me. The difference between a divine feminine and everyone else. When any child on this planet runs up to you in any given moment, we're talking any moment of life, and they bring to you something so small and precious in their hand, and they come to you with the passion of their heart just to be a child and show you. Guess what? Guess what? And you don't stop everything to bow down, and you look them in the eye, and you are just so excited to be a part of that story that that child has brought you into their life to share and to show you in their moment of show and share. And if you do not have your heart just pounding with joy that God has placed you before that child, you don't know anything about divine feminine. And those of you that have put my name on a piece of paper to trade me so you can get money, and you've put my name to a black web, spiritual hitman, because you think my life is just that. May you go through the most harshest of karmas, and you will all face what you have done to me and how you have treated me. And the number of children that go behind that that have not had a single parent to say, "I know how you feel. We're gonna heal this. I care. And I'm not gonna leave your side while you're healing." I have alchemized things for people I don't even know. I've alchemized collected wounds that I don't even know. I've never done a spell on anybody, and yet I'm alchemizing people's black magic. I'm alchemizing the energy from sacrifices, and I fall asleep on the street every night. Every person that has taken every penny from me and every person that has allowed this to be my experience, may you awaken to divine feminine. That's all I have to say. I know, Spirit. Any donations, that would be wonderful, because I need the donations and I need the money. That's what I need. I need the money to get my cards, to get my travel cards. I need the money to get my electronics. I need the money to have a salad once in a while instead of dollar noodles. And for those of you that have a whole bunch of karma that you need to work off because you've treated people like crap because you have wounding, you can just say to Source Creator, I have extra money in my account. If I donate a couple of hundred to this person right here, can I start working off some of my karma? Because I'm starting to feel a little activated in my heart and I want to help. That's how you start working your karma off. Because when you know there's people in the collective that are actually doing good and they're barely getting by and they're hanging by a thread, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, because everybody and their dog is doing spell work on them, and then they're being studied to see how much they can handle and how much they can take, and are they going to get up again? Is she going to come forward today? Is she going to get up today? It's like this sick TV show that everybody's watching and nobody gives a crap. Nobody gives a crap to give to her on any level. No, you just keep buying into the storyline. You just keep buying into the depravity of it all, just because you're so dramatically enthralled in it. So you're dramatically enthralled in it. You're benefiting from my wisdoms. You're benefiting from how to align your businesses. You're benefiting from how to refine energy and how to work with energy and how to manifest from energy and how to manifest a healthier life, how to manifest closeness with God, how to manifest repairing of the planet. These are the highest teachings you're never going to get from anywhere else on this planet. Everybody's buying into the dramatic storyline. Everybody's gonna buy a bit of the video. Everybody's gonna buy a bit of the movie about the books and all the stuff that I'm gonna create out of it. Meanwhile, I haven't slept in a bed in years. Besides the 1 or 2 nights I had at a hotel when I did have the money coming in to go and see my kids, which I don't have any money to do that anymore. I don't visit my kids because I haven't had the money. And then the people that have been taking the money from me, all they care about is where am I getting the money? Where am I gonna get they know God's gonna bless me soon. Where am I getting the money from? How is she earning her money? How come she's not on the street even more worse than she was yesterday? Because we're doing spell work on her and ugly spells and poverty spells and all these are how these vampires and leeches act and behave. And I get up and I get up every day and I look this way for me. I feel this way for me, and I have to process the dark energy because I'm a leader of the collective. I have to transmute and I have to carry far more than any of you will ever carry. None of you will ever know what I carry. None of you will ever know what I transmute. None of you will ever know what I've been through. None of you will ever know an ounce of the energy that I feel. And these people that want my gifts and do a destiny swap and they want my spiritual power, they're the most egotistical, misogynistic, sadistic people on the planet. They couldn't handle a week on the street. They couldn't handle a week in what I carry. And yet they're the first ones to sit by and say, "What can we do to her this week? Let's make a plan." They're doing their studies, doing their analyzing, gonna see what they're gonna do next and what kind of curses and hexes they're gonna do next. How long are they gonna keep the money from me? And they said the money's coming. Yeah, you said that before. It's been eight years of gaslighting. The intuitive power of a divine feminine, if she has multiple children in her home, even if she has a care home or an orphanage, there's many timelines where I was in an orphanage. There's many timelines where I worked at orphanages. There's many timelines where I remember being a youthful girl in an orphanage on planet Earth in I think it was in Europe somewhere, and there was 3 or 4 of the younger children that I would look after. And the ladies and the matrons that would work there were so horrible and they were so mean. And I think this was what year was that, Spirit? Do we know what year that was? About the 1500s, somewhere around there. And these women would just get on their rages, and if the children wouldn't do what they're meant to do, if the children, put a little pee on the toilet and whatever would tip these women off because they were just nasty women that they shouldn't have been working in orphanages. Obviously, as some of the teachers nowadays, teachers should not be teachers. If you don't like kids, why are you a teacher? Right? It's just like being a politician. You don't like people, why are you a politician? It's showing people where they're at right now with their who they are because they've done no path work. They really don't like people and yet they're in a people job. But this is the process of awakening. Everybody's getting used to it, so I get it. Um, and we all know how many times our children come home and say these wonderful stories about the teachers that, really don't like kids, and so it's obvious. So don't be a teacher because you're ruining everybody's life. These are the things you have to face. This is a radical self-acceptance here, people. And in this orphanage, these women and the workers of the orphanage, you'd get as little as possible, and you'd be lucky if you survived, right? The orphanage, and you'd lucky if you had a decent life coming out of it. So as soon as the kids were old enough to go, they were just gone. They would leave. And so I think about 11 or 12, and I was old enough and tall enough that I could look after the younger ones. And I did. I took many of them under my arms to make sure that if I did the work for the people, the workers there, then at least the children would stay safe and at least the children would be happier, right? Because if you're in an orphanage, the day's really slow if you're not okay and you're not happy. So the children would do the best they could to be happy in a no loving environment, in an abusive environment, non-nourishing environment. And so, that there would be 3 or 4 kids. I see 3 of them that were much smaller than me, 3 and 4 and 5, 7. They would just I would protect them and I would be, their caretaker. They would see me as the caretaker there. And that was again another timeline of very young caretaking and healing and playing that healer role that I've done in many of my lifetimes. And when they would get on these rages, I knew what the women were going to do, and they were just gonna start smacking on the kids. And so there's many dreams that I woke up with this is how your soul is programmed in your soul to help heal your wounds as well as to remind you of what you're here to do. Sometimes your soul and your subconscious will pull these energies forward for you to maintain your path of consciousness and passion to your purpose. And I would wake up from these dreams sometimes, and I would be standing and throwing myself in front of women that were ready to raise their arm and smack the little ones, right? And get the little ones in trouble and kick them and things like that. And so I would be the first one to dive in while the children would go and run and they would pretend they're doing some cleanup and things like that to make sure the other matrons weren't going to come after them. Much similar to the story in the video I saw of that Eastern man that was in the small house in the 1 or 2 room house and he was beating the crap out of his wife with a rolling pin. and his 2 children, there's like 5 children there, and the older children were, trying to get him off, and the mother and the sister of the one being beaten, the elderly women were just sitting watching. It was the children that were going in to protect the mother. And of course, everybody in the world knows, and all of these great world leaders that are so tuned in with humanity, and they're so tuned in with caring and healing and compassion. They all know what's going on. It's just so wonderful to see these 98.9% of the world leaders that are doing such a great job at their compassion level, and they're tuning in with their heart space and knowing how important their money making businesses are. Um, and very little of them, and none of them, if any, are tuned into how to correctly maintain a balanced planet that is eco-friendly, as well as lifting all people involved and healing the wounds that need to be healed, because consciousness will not raise unless you're healing the wounds. You can't raise your consciousness unless you're healing. Consciousness and healing are hand in hand, and you can't have one without the other. So anyways, I would take the strapping and I would take the booting for these children. And then for a gift, they would give me, the extra roll at dinner, and they would do what they could, and they would, draw me whatever they could with their broken crayons and things like that. What's worse is I can't even get to the children now, because the 300 involved and just hell bent on keeping me held back. They took my car, and they took all my money that I couldn't pay for my car. And the only children I see are the ones that come into the coffee shop that share their art with me. And somehow, some way, the children find themselves to me. They'll always find their way to me. But you know how helpless I feel being a healer? And you have wonderful people on the planet that can heal the people, but they're not given the opportunity because the governments and the people are so corrupt. The only ones allowed around the children are the pedophiles and the traffickers and the groomers. And the rest of them get impaled by black magic 24/7. And even in the hospitals, the ones that see the children, some of them that see the children, they're put on lists for their organs. Which ones are gonna make it, which ones aren't, and they get paid for every child they process. Oh, humanity, I pray for you. Surrender these energies to Holy Mother Father. Please release these energies, Holy Spirit. I want the monies that is owed to me. I want my inheritance. I want my birth records. I want these 3D timelines closed out. I want every one of the 300 people that are involved in holding my life back and derailing and delaying my life. Each and every one of you are 100% guilty as charged. None of you know me. None of you ever knew me. None of you know anything about divine feminine. I will see to it that those that have been bearing false witness and lying under oath and creating false claims, I will see to it that on any and all realms that you will be pulled out and held accountable for the lies that you have told and the delaying and the ruining of my life. And for every child that did not know that I was there for them. And every day wasted in Parliament where you're arguing back and forth to your party's beneficial story on a bill or a law, while you're serving more of the elites than you are serving the people or the water or the air. Be sure that I'm gonna find you as well, in dream time, in spirit time, in whatever time that you need it, so that you wake up. And those responsible for the lands that are tearing the lands down and making the oceans sick. It's an awakening that has to happen with all. It's got to happen. Understanding divine feminine, understanding the dark divine feminine, understanding her stories and why the stories are the way they are. Goddess Kali and Sekhmet, read these goddesses, read their stories. They're real. The story of Torhana. She returned to her village to find her entire family slaughtered. And because of the sorrow that she had, she was left in levitation in a sacred mountain. And her soul is my soul. And these stories are the sick reproductions of those beliefs and perspectives that sacrificing is something you just should do just to get by in life. Because you don't want to absolutely just sit and think about, well, what is God? Let's see what God really is outside of your church and your state. Because cities and massacres happen because of religion and the misinformed and incorrect beliefs about God. And you've all taken it so righteously to your hearts, and you'll die for it. You'll have your Bible on your chest as people are going down and borders are being busted up because of religion. And that's your highest intelligence? And I keep asking you, is it? That's your compass. Do you honestly think that there is any level of honor? I want you to understand the word honor, understand the word nobility, understand what these mean beyond Google, beyond Wikipedia. Do you actually think, in all of your grandeur, that sitting around a table with more disconnected people and you're discussing on who to sacrifice next, do you honestly think in 13 dimensions, do you honestly think in 13 dimensions that these are going to revere you through the eighth dimension and the seventh dimension? Do you think they're going to be looking at you? Oh, look at the great work they're doing on earth. Oh, look at the great work. They're sacrificing children. They're sacrificing what God gave in their DNA and the blueprint. And the child is going to, at 8, the child's going to discover this. And at 9, the children's going to discover this. And at 10, the child's going to stand up for itself. And at 10, the child's going to learn how to understand its brain a little bit better. And then they're going to do somersaults. Do you honestly think that in all of the intricate and beautiful, mysterious, magical design that the Father does, that the Mother does, that all of the angels and the infinite aspects of somebody's life and somebody's soul, all of these beings and all of this spirit gather when a life is being presented, when a life is being designed and your soul blueprint is being designed? Infinite species, infinite councils, infinite karmic boards, infinite masters, infinite angels go together to make up one soul blueprint. And do you think disconnected, wounded people sitting around a table talking about how to sacrifice somebody and what insurance money they're going to get, do you think that that is going to get you nobility? Preposterous, diabolical. And life and death is played like a game. And my life has been an example of it. And I have to come and talk about it, and I come and present it, and I come and learn about it, and I come and teach about it, and I show you how to alchemize, and I show you how to say, my life is an example of all things great and mysterious. My life is. There's nothing that I would be without Source Creator God and all of the beings that support me. It's just unfortunate none of them are on this planet, except for maybe 2 or 3. The design by the Holy Father goes all dimensions, all realms, all universes. It's magnificent. The multiverse is included in your soul's blueprint. Your soul's blueprint. That's just how profound it is. Your soul's blueprint, the sacred trinity, all of your aspects, All of the development of your aspects, the forms your aspects have taken, the planets your aspects have been on, everything is included. Your brain development, everything is included. The teams are so designed. Where are we going to work on the brain? What are we going to do for this person now? What are we going to do for the client now? Your teams in the higher dimensions, they're all there. They're passionate, unconditional love to help you through this process. They adore you. They are so devoted to you, and they don't get paid. They don't have Bitcoin. They don't get paid. They don't change money back and forth to see, you know, what celestial is it? The Arcturians that are getting paid today? Is it Syrians getting paid today? They do this out of devotion and unconditional love. That's what unity consciousness. That is what humanity will be in 5D. We are going to be living on a planet just because we love to do what we love to do. Can you go one day just to do something you love to do without even thinking about money? That's going to give you great preparation for unity consciousness. We're preparing ourselves to be guides. You don't get paid as a guide. You get paid as the intrinsic compassion and love and unity and the progression of yourself, the progression of all life for Source Creator, for God. That's godliness. It's not sitting in your church with your Bible, thinking about how you're going to take somebody out because they don't speak about a God that is right for you and because you're judging them on where they don't fit in your Bible and in your speech. Unity consciousness is one and all life is one. All life is one. The Lutherans, the Baptists, the Baha'i, Judaism, Muslim. God is Source Creator. Source Creator is Muslim. Source Creator is Jew. Source Creator is Christian. Get out of your boxes, people. Source Creator is Source Creator, the Source Creator of all life. All life. So what in the Muslim world, and what in the Christian world, and what in the Jew world, and what in the Lutheran and Baptist world says that it's okay to touch on and have sex with children, to have an 80-year-old man marry a 10-year-old girl, and then give her a baby? That her dreams and her desires and her creativity and her soul's blueprint is now right out the window because she had no say on her soul's blueprint. She had no say on her sovereignty. She had no say on her divine soul right. And you better bet the dark divine feminine is going to come through and speak for her. Sold and traded and bid and bought and sold and passed down the street to Uncle Bob and Cousin Joe, Billy Bob, Horn Dog, for her to be slapped with an 80-year-old dick. Lovely. And she's got to have that in the back of her brain for the rest of her life. That sits on her soul forever. And then heaven forbid, oh my gosh, she gets sick of that 80-year-old dick and she looks outside because wow, she's starting to feel really comfortable with herself and she's going through her sexuality and she's coming to her prime and pristine and she's going through the village and oh no, she looks at this beautiful man from across the way that's actually growing up and moving into his sovereignty, and all of a sudden the men in the neighborhood saw her look at somebody. So what do? Well, because she was sold at 8 to an 80-year-old man, she wants to have a beautiful night with somebody else that actually is one of her age and actually wants to, get to know her as a mate. But no, all the men in the neighborhood see that, so they're going to put noble and honor killings on her, because that's noble and honoring. And this is a level of intelligence. Entropy. Epstein Earth. Zero intelligence. The dark divine feminine is tired of being poked and bullied. The divine feminine is tired of being absolutely disregarded and ignored for her own voice, for her own say about what her body is and what her body is for her and only her. She gets dressed in the morning and puts on her makeup for her. And there isn't any person on this planet, and I will say it now, Holy Father, please stand beside me. Holy Mother, please stand beside me. Angels in the heavens and Gaia and all of our spiritual grids, please stand within me. As I say this moment and this statement of New Earth Star, may my voice go through every vibrational grid and every aspect of speck of dust, from sand, from oceans, from mountains, and everything in between. I say this with grand respect for all life that is the Holy Father's, and I will say this with devotion, and I will watch over this planet as I become a spirit, and as far as spirit will carry me. I say this day with profound declaration. May there never be another child that will ever be touched away again on any level in any way that ever disrupts their destiny with God as God. In of as spirit, we are sovereign and we are true and real, and we will be liberated from sexual debauchery and abuse just because people are choosing not to get healed. Source creator is source creator. If you choose your box store beliefs and religion over source creator, then you will be shifted, because the planet will transition with or without you. And you will not transition into a higher vibrational consciousness when you are nothing but war of all things that are God. When you create dissonance, distraction, abuse, trafficking, harm, raping, premeditated murder in any way to God's life on any level, that is nothing but dissonance. And you cannot go through the gates if you are. Do you choose religion or do you choose source creator? It is that simple, people. And you have to look at your beliefs and perspectives on everything. Each human is divine feminine, divine masculine energies. What does that mean for you? When there has been such blatant abuse that all of you have watched in the vlogging that I have brought forward and I have done, why is it that only 2 people of the 60,000 views a month, why is it only 2 people that are under the poverty level? Why is it that only they give? Why? When you donate and give, you're saying that I appreciate the energy and I appreciate the wisdoms I've learned from you. Here's a donation. Thank you so much. Because you're giving back and you're saying, hey, I was a part of your learning. Thank you. A man that cannot say thank you to a woman, you don't know anything about divine feminine, and you won't go through the gates. And your business will fail and suffer. How can you expect success and benevolence and abundance in your business when you don't have respect for divine feminine and you're not giving her respect? Giving her respect is giving to her for what she has given you. And what has she given you? She has given you honor. She has given you hope. She has given you peace. She's given you inspiration, encouragement to stand up and get it. You got this. Do it again. Try again. Look at it from this perspective. See it from this perspective. Heal. Face it. You can. Get up. Try again. Infinite ways I've gifted you refinements on your thoughts and perspectives so that you can heal and be a better, higher version of you. Your consciousness will be required, dear lighted ones. 5D is not 3D. This is a playground, and I've been sent here as one of the playground monitors with higher spiritual knowledge and order, and with higher spiritual authority. I've asked with very great grace, even though I've hated asking for it, and many other channels do, and many other card readers do, and they receive many, many donations, far greater than I will ever receive. And I am just so thankful for the 1 or 2 that just donate on a regular basis, and they donate what they can. And I am so grateful for them, and they are the only 2 people that will be at my table. The people calling me family, they're not going to be at my table. The people that have called me friends, I don't have any friends. I don't have a circle of friends. I never had a circle of friends. Ain't no friends have offered me to their house and stay on their couch while I work out this court case and while I work out all of the horrible things done to me on purpose by the people that think that they're in power and that watch me every day and put me on watch lists because I seem to know more than you do. All you had to do is offer to come and pay me to have a class with you and I could teach you. But you didn't. You send your stalkers and you send your little people in your government cars and you send your little monitors and your little cult and coven monitors on me with their sunglasses on like I don't notice them. Okay, well, I'm tired of being in a cage. I'm tired of being like your little guinea pig while you all sort out what you're going to do with your life in your debaucherous little underground sex clubs. And so while you get your pieces together and you keep thinking about what you're going to do to how to make this right, how about you just send me a donation because that's kind of what I need now. I mean, it takes 5 seconds to send a donation. Have I not offered enough for that? Have I not offered enough for $5? Have I not offered enough for a $50 donation on any of you? You can put it in your taxes. You got the whole tax receipt there. Anybody? So this is divine feminine. What is divine feminine's worth to you? What is your divine feminine value? When you are offered a divine feminine that's going to change the face of the planet, and I have been for many, many years, it's just been doing, I've been doing it on the radar. So when God actually lifts me, when God actually shows everybody what I've been through, when God actually puts the dissection of what's been done to me and the players that have been involved, when God actually shows this, the entire collective will have to face and look at what part did they play? What are their beliefs and perspectives about what goes on in their life? And how do they allow divine feminine to be and feel so lowly? Because my life is an example of how divine feminine has been treated and how the sacred starseed has been treated. That's what my life mirrors. My life is that example so that the collective can wake up. My life is the vibration so that I've sacrificed it so that none of you else would. I've played the sacrificial lamb this timeline around for humanity as we go through the gates. And I bring my stories through every day so that all can learn from these sacrificial stories. Sacrificing from the 5D gates are on. Sacrificing is no more, people. Anybody that's doing sacrificing, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. You're not getting God. You're not getting abundance. You're not getting all of creation. You're not getting quantum math. You're not getting the understanding of universal laws. You're not getting it. There is no reason on this planet that sacrificing is a thing. We're going to look back in 20 years from now and say, we can't believe we sacrificed. Oh my gosh, did we not even get the basic truths of the universe? Did we not get God? God's abundant in all things. Are we kidding me? No. What are we sacrificing for? There's no reason to sacrifice. And if you are sacrificing on any level, then it's a no sense of self, and it's something you're missing within your belief system. It has nothing to do with anything in the reality not given to you. Children should not be sacrificed. It's illegal. It's a spiritual illegal clause on the higher spiritual levels. You've messed with God's divine devotion, God's destiny, and the many beings that collected on behalf of that person to say, we need this soul on earth. Let's give them the best life ever. Let's really show them how to create some greatness on that earth. Let's show them how to really create and come together as one. Because it's all about unity consciousness, people. That's all we should be talking about from here on out is unity consciousness. This is all this game is about. So we ask you once again, will you choose Source Creator or will you choose God? Or your religion? The God in your religion, which is what? Muhammad? Who's your gods? Who are your gods? Who are your gods in your religions, in your box stores, in your churches? Who are they? You know, the popes that wear the little robes, who are they? You have to ask yourself bigger questions. You have to go through that gate. I've been showing and teaching and bringing you the honesty, the raw authenticity, the energy of what is on the planet right now. And we must call upon the dark divine feminine. She's going to pick humanity up from the darkest places because the dark divine masculine took us there. That's the balance. Sacred mysteries, dear lighted ones. It's why God brings the certain of us forward at certain times, because we have the vibration, we have the truth. We have the depth and we have the richness to bring humanity to where it needs to be in certain activations and where it needs to be and when it needs to be and how it needs to be. We have the voice, we have the songs, we have the tones from planets that you don't even know about. But does anybody ask, does anybody care? Does anybody want to know? Let's have a channeling session from the Celestials. Celestials, what are the tonings that we're going to need and who will bring them forward in the songs and the sounds and how will we bring it forward for the children of future generations? Lyrans and Pleiadians. Yes, there will be many of you on this planet at this time that will be awakening into sacred song. And many of you will be bringing forward many ancient timelines from Mesopotamia that also did toning, and many of your ancient Greece, Egyptian timelines. Many tribal arenas from your series of places called Africa and Australia, through which singing and toning was also known as alchemic tools, healing tools, vibrational tools of oneness within the planet and of the cosmic heavens. What else would you like to know? Yes, it will be seen as a great additive of entertainment for all of you, for sound offers itself in that way, not only as a healing modality and tool, but as entertainment of song and dance. And you will be seeing these things change and alter down the road as you evolve into higher consciousness, that you will prefer that which serves the body and the soul and the spirit of itself to be nourished in such ways. And you're going to be seeking this out in every day. What nourishes my soul? What nourishes my spirit? What will nourish and bring healing to my body and my cavity? All of these things are higher consciousness thoughts, dear lighted ones. And as you awaken to higher consciousness, you will begin to think and seek in new ways. So, what you thought was your entertainment a while ago, perhaps going to a strip bar and watching women peel their clothes off and twist their crotches at you, that may not be entertaining in higher intelligence, now would it? And what else was your entertainment? Oh, watching child pornography. In higher intelligence, that will not be a thing, now will it? Why? Because your consciousness is higher. You're going to learn to understand how to reduce garbage on your planet and how to reduce the fumes from the garbage. And you certainly won't be putting chemtrails in the air when you're higher consciousness. And you certainly wouldn't be allowing people that call themselves government politicians to sit around and argue most of their day and time and waste so much of the people's money. And because there's no money left, what do? They take it from those that have been brought lots of inheritance forward for the collective, and they get held back 30 years from their time and their space and their destinies because their money has been used for other people that are in the elite package, and they've been using their money because they've been stealing it and not giving it forward and not giving it back. So when the money should have been returned at 20, it wasn't. It was used for people that were elite and people that were in the high blue bloods and people that were in the Illuminati to take anybody's money that they thought because they thought they had entitlement to do whatever they wanted on this planet. Because they were the top of the top. Isn't that the way? Then you go and pay a devilish satanic cult worker and gatekeeper to go and do a few sacrifices for you so that you stay on top for as long as it takes. And you keep sacrificing people so that you keep staying on top. And isn't that the way? So for you to stay elite, for you to stay in power, and for you to stay on top, what do? You keep taking lives. It's absolutely wrong, and it's wrong, 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 wrong. Not in 5D gates, you won't. It won't work. It won't work. It won't work. Why? You're going to get pulled up before it even happens because darkness will show it all. The light on this planet, light will show it all. You're going to be seen for what you do, light's going to show it all. You can't play both sides, light's going to show it all. You can't say you're godly and then kill children. Can't show it all. We're going to show it all. We're going to show it all. I'm going to speak it. You forced your way into my field, and I'm going to speak it. You were told to stay out of my way. I'm going to speak it. You were told to return the money 3 years ago. I'm going to speak it. You were told to give me back my money 3 years ago. I'm going to speak it. You used my name in any way, and I'm going to speak it because now you've connected yourself with my energy, and I'm going to speak it. I'm going to call your name out. I'm going to call out where you live. So again, when you think about where are you and who are you and what you exist within, how about you focus on healing yourself because anything outside of yourself is none of your business. And if you're here really to move the planet forward, then you speak up on what's going wrong and how it's going wrong and how you see it because you want to stand up for the greater good of all. That's the only reason and that's the only time you get involved is because you want to see the greater good of all because that's called being a good patron. Because you care about the planet. You want to be seen and you want to be known by the multiverse. God, you can call on me at any time. I am your warrior. And if it calls helping the children out of trafficking and creating healing homes and maybe turning schools into healing homes, whatever it is we got to do, let's do it. Because that's called being a patron of the creational story, isn't it? Or do you never want to be called on it, just have everybody else do the work? It's easier, isn't it, when you have one light worker that does it all? And Spirit said, no, you got to sit down and you're going to receive now. This is my time to receive. So thank you, Holy Divine Feminine. And take a deep breath and ground. There's going to be great strides in the entertainment and music, omnipresent fields. And we're going to be garnering higher vibrational codes for higher vibrational music. higher vibrational codes for higher vibrational stories. And as we're healing, we're going to be allowing greater source energy to flow. And when we have the perfection of God's source creator and the perfection of God's equations, what does that mean? That means we're going to be having the more purity of our creativity. And we're not going to be bound by blocks and hurdles and people that are bothering us with magic, so that we never speak up on what's truly going on behind the gates. In the gates, in the curtains, under the basements, and in the little tunnels and behind walls. How dare anybody place God's life in this detriment? See, when you awaken, you end up crying most of the time, not for the healing and not for the sadness. You cry because of the reverence for God. I hope you carry that statement with you all day long. Because that's why any light worker does anything that they do, and why they're pulled forward from a universe when they're on different missions and different experiences. But planet Earth needs this energy at this time. And God said, can you do what only you can do? And I came forward and I said, I will come forward and I will do what I can do. I will go anywhere for you, God. I will go anywhere for the Father. I will do anything for the mother and her children. That's reverence. And I haven't been paid anything for it. I haven't been paid anything for it. I don't make any money off of my books. And they were my passion. You cry because of the reverence, because you are so deeply grateful and humble that God has allowed you to expand in the ways that only your soul can expand when you live God within. And I've never carried a Bible. And I'm okay if I never step inside of a church, because that doesn't ever declare me and define me as being godly or a Messiah. I love God's creation. And I know this life that I have to make peace with. I could have helped and healed hundreds of thousands more people that I didn't get a chance to even know. And that's going to be the hardest part about leaving this place. Because God knows He pulled His best. And I was sat behind hundreds and hundreds of hexes and curses and financial restriction that makes this so unfair. So while all you're sleeping in your king-size beds, I slept on the cement last night. May you know Divine Feminine a little bit better. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I return these energies back to the Holy Father. Please bathe it with the Holy Christ. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Please allow the children to walk with lighter step, and I will alchemize as much as I can for the children and the whole of futures and all the star seeds and all the crystal children coming forward. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I will do my best. May the men on this planet wake up, and may the women, please, women, start looking after yourselves. You don't need anybody, and there is no sacrificing from here on out. May the children know that I will be with them in spirit, and I will be with them in form in any way that I can to assist them in their healing. I'm a servant to the Holy Creator. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Alchemy session 3000. I'll let show you what it's like. Do you have any other further comments and suggestions and messages for the collective, Commander Ashtar? Is there anything you would like me to say? You would like me to pass on and provide the collective? I'm just sending deep gratitude to my clients. I'm sending very deep gratitude to my clients. They know who they are. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm very grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I thank the Holy Creator for for allowing these people to come back into my life and to know me as a soul. WS and CM. MS, thank you for your contribution. I love you. I love you into your hearts and into all that you are as a spirit and a soul. Si ai lai na makaratake, si ala mana karatake, si ala na makaratake, ai lai take shi na makarataka. Si ai lai take shi na makarataka, ai la na makarataka, shi makarataka. E lai take shi na makaratake, e si na makaratake, shi na makarata, ai lai take shi na makarataka. Si lai na makaratake, si la mana karatake, shi la mana karataka. Si take na makarataka, si lai na makarataka. Alla mata ke shi ni te shi na maka te shi na nakaraka. I shana makarataka. E shi lion nanaka. White ke shi na makarataka. That's a heart activation. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I don't think so. Thank you, Holy Spirit. PayPal.me/Joanna L. Ross. It's on every one of my videos. Please share my videos. Take a look at my KCR playlist. There's lots of guided meditations in there. I've got over 950 videos, I think. There's so much that's gonna be coming. It's so amazing the things that they've shown me for, the creativity and schools and the school systems that are changing. The school systems are gonna be changing fairly quickly because they've they've known that the changes have had to happen for quite some time now, and they've been making slow changes, but it's gonna happen a little bit more rapidly because there are so many people in the school systems right now that are, teachers that are starseeds, and they're gonna be flipping things around very quickly. So we're going to see this school systems be a lot more flexible, and there's not going to be so many restrictions on what has to and has to not be taught. It's going to be very flexible. It's going to be a lot more open, honoring for the higher vibrational consciousness. And we're going to talk more and we're going to learn a lot more about energy. The children are going to learn a lot more about energy, a lot more about hands-on experiments and being a lot more involved with the planet, and a lot more involved about being self-sovereign. So it's going to be really wonderful. So they're showing me right now, just a vision before I go. They're showing me right now of a school in which this is future potentiation. Do we have a timeline on that, Spirit? They're showing me 56. Whether it's 2056 or 56 years from now, they're saying it's 2056. By the year 2056, there will be celestials in the schools with the children. And the celestials will be assisting the children in advancing. This is when the advanced humans, celestial humans, cosmic humans will be, taking in you can't even talk about the advancements because the celestials with the children learning at the same time, we're bringing cosmic learning to earthly learning. I mean, it's going to be crazy. I want to come back as a starseed. I'm going to come back as a child probably. I want to go to school now. Right? Children are going to be like, yeah. They're not going to come home and complain about the teachers anymore or the stuff they have to learn. Oh man, I learned how to disappear, man. I learned how to bilocate today. I learned how to lift up the light ship with my thoughts. They're going to be doing all that. Yeah. I lifted up a cow with my finger, man. I'm coming back. I'm going to school. I'm coming back as a starseed. No more putting me on these journeys where I have to go to the most impoverished states and be a healer. No more of these timelines. I mean, I can see a few of them, but not every timeline. When do I get to have some fun? As I keep saying to Spirit, when do I get to have some fun? Like, do I always have to be the most poverty-stricken person and do healing? Is that the role that I'm here to play, like, forever? Huh. Huh. I'll do whatever the Father wants. I'll go wherever the Father wants, and God knows that. The Father knows. I love I'll do whatever the Father wants. Wherever you want me, Mother, I will go. The drop of a dime, you take me, I'll go. I'll drop it all. Wherever you need me, I'm out. Put me in, Coach. God knows I carry my cleats wherever I go. I'm cleat up. Let's go. Giddy up. Cleats on. You got 2 minutes. Stretch, warm up. We're going for a run. All right, darlings. It's time for me to sign off. PayPal.me/Joanna L. Ross. Thank you to the ones that always give. I love you. You giving always makes me be more generous. And that's just the thing about giving. It's when you don't give that the planet gets into stingy mode and nobody wants to give anything because they're all hanging on to it. And then you say, for what? Giving does actually make you more generous. Makes the planet more generous. It's just how energy works. So, dear lighted ones, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. I love you. Thank you for going through your alchemy. Face it every day. Do your path work. Work on the stuff from yesterday. It's a very powerful healing yesterday. And within 3 days, you're going to feel better because Spirit's working on you. Thank you so much. Love you all. Love you all. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you.